The elders warned, do not awaken humanity. Someone ignored them. Dr. Caleb Harris sat in the small observation room of the research station, staring at the dark screen in front of him. The room smelled faintly of metal and old coffee, and the hum of computers filled the quiet. He rubbed his eyes and leaned closer to the screen. For weeks, he and his colleague, Laura Mitchell, had been studying strange signals coming from a distant part of space. The signals were faint, hidden deep in the noise of the galaxy, but they seemed deliberate, as if someone or something was trying to speak. Laura leaned over his shoulder, pointing at the data. Caleb, look at this pattern. It's repeating in a way that doesn't make sense for natural space phenomena. It almost looks like a language. Caleb nodded slowly, feeling a chill. Yes, that's what I thought too, but it's old, really old, possibly older than anything humans have ever found before. They had been chosen for this mission because of their knowledge of languages, codes, and alien communication. The space station they worked on orbited a quiet planet in a remote star system, far from Earth. Most people on Earth didn't even know this place existed. But here, Caleb and Laura spent months scanning the stars, waiting for signs that life outside their world might exist. What do you think it says? Laura asked, her voice low. She didn't want to speak too loudly, as if the words themselves might be dangerous. Caleb shook his head. I don't know yet, but something about it feels wrong. It's as if it's warning us about something. Laura frowned. Warning us from who and why? Before Caleb could answer, a soft chime sounded from the main console. It was a notification that another part of the signal had been detected. The screen lit up with lines of shapes and sounds that didn't belong to any known code. Caleb leaned in closer, his heart beating faster. He felt both fear and excitement. This is it, he whispered. We are hearing a message that no one else has ever heard. Laura's eyes widened. Caleb, maybe we should tell someone. This could be important. He shook his head. No, not yet. We don't know what it is. It could be dangerous. We need to study it first. Just then, the door to the observation room opened, and a man in a crisp white lab coat stepped inside. Ethan Doyle, a senior scientist who had been part of the mission from the start, smiled at them. He had a confident look in his eyes, the kind that made people trust him even when they didn't fully understand why. You two are busy, he said. What have you found? Caleb hesitated. He didn't trust Ethan completely. The man was brilliant, but he was also impatient and always wanted to push limits. He often ignored warnings if they slowed him down. Ethan, Caleb said carefully, we've found a signal. It's very old and it seems to be alive in a way. It's sending a message, but we don't know what it means. Ethan's eyes lit up. Alive? That's incredible. Can I see? Caleb felt a shiver run down his spine. I think we should be careful. We don't know what happens if we activate any part of it. The message could be a warning. It could be dangerous. But Ethan just smiled. Warnings are meant to be ignored sometimes. If this is as big as you say, we can't waste time. I want to see it in action. Laura frowned. Ethan, we shouldn't rush. We don't know the consequences. What if this signal does something we can't control? Ethan waved his hand dismissively. You worry too much. Let's just turn it on and see what happens. This is the discovery of a lifetime. Caleb and Laura exchanged a worried glance. They knew arguing with Ethan would be useless. He had already made up his mind. Slowly, he approached the main console, typing in commands that would activate the signal fully. The room hummed louder as the machines powered up. Lines of light and energy began to pulse on the screen, moving in patterns that were beautiful and strange. Caleb felt a tight knot in his stomach. Ethan, wait, maybe we should analyze it more first. But Ethan ignored him. Too late now. Let's see what secrets it holds. As the signal reached its full strength, a low vibration filled the room. The lights flickered slightly and the air seemed to hum. Caleb and Laura both stepped back, suddenly feeling the weight of the unknown pressing against them. The signal was not just data. It felt alive. It was as if it could think, observe, and react. Caleb could feel it searching for something, and it seemed to find it in humanity. "Caleb, do you feel that?" Laura whispered. "Yes," he said, his voice tight. "It's looking at us, at Earth." Ethan laughed, shaking his head. "You two are imagining things. It's just a signal, nothing more." But Caleb couldn't shake the feeling that they had crossed a line. Something old and powerful had been awakened, something that the elders, long-forgotten beings who had left warnings across the galaxy, had told everyone to leave alone. And now, because of one person's impatience, humanity was being watched. Outside the research station, distant planets began to pick up subtle changes in their own systems. Alien civilizations that had long ignored humans suddenly became alert. Somewhere far away, a council of elders sensed a shift in the balance of the galaxy. The voice of their warning echoed across time and space. "Do not awaken humanity." But it was too late. Back in the observation room, Caleb and Laura stared at the screen as the signal's pattern began to expand. It spread faster than anything they had seen before. Lights pulsed like a heartbeat and strange symbols appeared, almost forming words they could almost read but not fully understand. "What is it saying?" Laura asked, her voice trembling. "I don't know," Caleb admitted. "But it feels like it's asking for something, like it wants us to act." Ethan leaned forward, eyes wide with excitement. "Then we act. This is history right here. We can finally understand what's out there. Humans have waited for this moment for centuries without knowing it." Caleb shook his head, feeling a deep unease. "It's not just history. This could be dangerous. I think the elders were right. This signal shouldn't be touched." Ethan laughed again. "You worry too much, Caleb. Humans are stronger than you think. We can handle it." But as the night wore on, the signal's pulse seemed to grow stronger. Caleb and Laura could see patterns forming that hinted at knowledge, power, and intelligence far beyond human understanding. And with each passing hour, Caleb felt a growing fear. Something had been awakened, something that might change humanity forever. He glanced at Laura, who was biting her lip nervously. "Do you think we can control it?" he asked quietly. Laura shook her head. "No, not anymore. We've crossed the line. Whatever this is, it knows we are here. It knows Earth exists." Caleb took a deep breath, trying to calm himself. Outside the station, the galaxy seemed silent. But inside, the pulse of the signal felt like the heartbeat of something alive, something ancient, something that had been waiting for the right moment to return. Ethan didn't notice their worry. He was too busy marveling at the screen, already thinking of the fame and knowledge they would gain. But Caleb and Laura knew better. They knew the elders had warned the galaxy long ago. Do not awaken humanity. And now, because someone had ignored that warning, the first thread of change had begun. And in the distance, far from the station, distant observers in other star systems began to stir. Something had shifted in the galaxy, something that might never be stopped. Caleb felt a cold shiver run down his spine as he realized the truth. Humanity had been awakened, and the universe would soon take notice. Caleb could not sleep. Even though the station's lights dimmed and the hum of machinery slowed, the signal kept him awake. He stared at the dark screen in his small room, thinking about what had happened the night before. The signal had grown stronger. It was no longer just a series of patterns. It felt like it was spreading, touching Earth without anyone knowing. Laura had returned to her quarters hours ago, exhausted and worried. She had warned Caleb about the dangers, but he felt the same fear she did. Something had been awakened, and it was beginning to change everything. Outside the station, the galaxy remained quiet, or at least it seemed quiet. But alien civilizations far from Earth were beginning to notice small disturbances. Tiny signals, bursts of energy, and changes in nearby systems were appearing. None of it could be explained by natural events. For the first time, some species began to ask, could humans be dangerous? Caleb opened a communication panel and sent a message to the Earth Science Authority. He did not mention the warning or the signal directly. He just asked for additional scans of electromagnetic activity and any strange patterns in the Earth's upper atmosphere. He knew the results would come back slowly, but even small data might show changes happening on Earth. Meanwhile, on Earth, people went about their lives without knowing the eyes of the galaxy were now watching them. Engineers solved complex problems faster than expected. Scientists discovered new ways to improve energy systems. Artists and writers created works that inspired people far beyond their communities. It was subtle at first, but there was a spark of change in human thinking. Creativity, adaptability, and curiosity were accelerating. Laura entered the observation room early the next day. Her hair was messy and her eyes looked tired. "Caleb," she said, "look at this. The signal is affecting more than the station. I ran the scans overnight. There's something happening on Earth too." Caleb looked at the screen as she pointed. On the monitor, small bursts of energy moved along the Earth's magnetic field. They were tiny and invisible to the naked eye, but the pattern matched the signal they had activated. It was like a ripple slowly spreading across the planet. "It's changing humans," Laura whispered. "Not in a way we can measure with normal tools, but it's affecting thinking, intuition, problem-solving. People are noticing things they never noticed before. They are learning faster, acting faster, thinking differently." Caleb rubbed his face, feeling a mix of awe and fear. "We were warned," he said quietly. "The elders were right, something should not have been awakened." Laura looked at him, worry in her eyes. "Do you think it's too late?" Before Caleb could answer, the main console chimed. Ethan Doyle had entered the observation room, smiling. "Good morning, team. I hope you are ready to see some results. This signal is amazing. Look at this." He pointed to a simulation on the screen. It showed a simplified map of Earth, highlighting areas where human activity had increased in creativity and productivity. Small dots appeared, moving across the planet like sparks. Laura frowned. "Ethan, you don't understand. This isn't just about productivity. This signal, it's changing humans. Their minds, their instincts, everything. We don't know what it will lead to." Ethan waved his hand. "You worry too much. Humans are smart, they can handle this. We are giving them knowledge they need. This is evolution accelerated. Isn't it exciting?" Caleb clenched his fists. "It's not evolution, it's interference. And the galaxy knows. Other species are already sensing the changes. They will not ignore humans for long." Ethan shrugged. "Let them watch. Humans have always adapted, always survived. That is what makes them unique." Caleb and Laura exchanged a worried look. They knew Ethan's words were true in one sense. Humans were resourceful and strong. But now that resourcefulness was growing faster than anyone could predict. It was no longer just adaptation. It was an awakening. As the day passed, the signal's effects became clearer. Small incidents began to appear around the station. Caleb noticed engineers solving complex problems in seconds. Laura observed that the AI systems on the station were learning faster than before, almost as if they were guided by human intuition. The humans around the station, including minor technicians and interns, began performing tasks that normally required weeks of training. "It's spreading," Laura said quietly to Caleb. "It's not just here in the station. It's affecting anyone near the signal's frequency. And the Earth, we can't even imagine what's happening there right now." Caleb nodded, worry lining his face. "Other species will notice soon. Once they do, humans won't be ignored, not anymore." Far away, in a system orbiting a red giant, the first signs of alien attention were visible. Ships belonging to a species called the Zyrex Confederation changed course toward Earth. Their sensors had detected the unusual bursts of energy. Officers on these ships were puzzled. "It seems to come from a single planet," one officer said, "but the effects are strange. The species there is becoming faster, smarter, more unpredictable." Another officer shook his head. "This is dangerous. We have observed hundreds of species over centuries." None show this kind of sudden development. If the trend continues, they could become unstoppable. Back on the station, Caleb continued to monitor Earth. He noted that cities were humming with activity. Factories and laboratories seemed to operate more efficiently. Humans were inventing machines, devices, and systems that had no prior reference. Even ordinary citizens were showing unusual levels of intelligence, problem-solving, and creativity. Laura frowned as she watched. "Do you see that?" Caleb leaned over the screen. "Yes. That's human innovation, and it's growing faster than we can track. This is exactly what the elders warned against. Humanity is rising before its time." Ethan appeared behind them, still smiling. "Look at this. People are solving problems on their own. They don't need guidance. They are learning, inventing, creating. This is exactly what I wanted to see." Laura shook her head. "You don't get it, Ethan. They don't understand the consequences. Other species will notice. They will think humans are dangerous. And when that happens—" Caleb interrupted, his voice low and serious. "It will not end well. Other species might decide humans are a threat. They might take action before humans even know what's happening." Ethan laughed. "You are imagining things. Humans are strong, clever. They will survive like always. Besides, the signal is helping them. We are just giving them a boost." But Caleb and Laura were not convinced. They had read the old records, texts from the elders that warned about awakening humanity. The elders had seen what humans could do, even in their natural state. And now, with this signal accelerating their abilities, humans were becoming something the galaxy had not expected. As the days passed, small incidents on Earth grew. People solved complex scientific problems in hours that would have taken years. Communities organized themselves more efficiently. Even conflicts were resolved faster than normal, not with violence, but with clever negotiation and innovation. Caleb and Laura watched in awe and fear. The signal had done what no one thought possible. It had made humans extraordinary. On the station, the effect was also noticeable. Ethan, thrilled by the changes, pushed for more interaction with the signal. He wanted to see how far humans could go. Caleb tried to stop him, but it was no use. The signal had been activated fully and it could not be turned off. Late at night, Caleb sat alone, staring at the screen. The stars outside were quiet, but the energy of the signal pulsed through space, reaching Earth and beyond. Somewhere, far away, alien civilizations were beginning to take notice. Something new had awoken, something that could not be ignored. Laura joined him quietly, placing a hand on his shoulder. "We can't stop it, can we?" she asked. Caleb shook his head slowly. "No, we crossed the line, and the galaxy will notice. Humanity has been awakened, and now we wait." As they sat together, watching the patterns on the screen, a small burst of energy from the signal pulsed brightly, almost like a heartbeat. Caleb felt it in his chest. It was alive, aware, and searching, and it had found humanity. In the distant reaches of space, alien ships changed their course. Observers whispered among themselves, warning their leaders that something unusual was happening on Earth. The humans were no longer simple. They were growing in knowledge, in power, in unpredictability. And the galaxy had just begun to notice. Caleb took a deep breath, knowing that nothing would ever be the same. Humans were awake, and the universe would never ignore them again. The first ripple had become a wave. And the wave was moving fast. The first alien ship appeared on the edge of Earth's orbit without warning. It was sleek and dark, moving silently against the stars. Caleb and Laura saw it on the station's long-range monitors before anyone on Earth even noticed. The ship had no markings, no visible signs of nationality or origin. It was clearly from a species far advanced beyond humans, and it moved with a purpose that made Caleb uneasy. Laura pointed at the screen. "Caleb, they're here. They know something is happening." Caleb felt a tight knot in his chest. "Yes, they are watching, and they are cautious. They are not here to greet us." Ethan Doyle appeared behind them, still smiling. Well, this is exciting, a first contact. Finally, humans will make history. Think of the fame, the knowledge we could gain. Caleb shook his head. This isn't a normal contact, Ethan. They are observing, they are measuring, and I don't think they understand what they will find. Laura leaned closer to the screen, watching the ship's movements. They've sent small drones ahead. Look, they are scanning the planet. Indeed, small, dark objects emerged from the main ship, moving in careful patterns over cities, mountains, and oceans. They did not attack. They did not communicate. They observed. And what they saw was unlike anything the aliens had expected. On Earth, humans were going about their day, unaware of the eyes watching them from space. But the changes caused by the signal were becoming more obvious. In one city, a group of engineers solved a problem in their energy grid in minutes that would have normally taken weeks. In another city, doctors discovered a simple way to treat a rare disease. In schools, students invented devices that amazed teachers. Caleb watched the data streaming from the planet. They are seeing this, he said. Everywhere they look, humans are doing things no one expected. They are smart, too smart. Laura's face grew pale. I think they are realizing that humans are different now. Faster, stronger in thinking. Unpredictable. Meanwhile, in orbit, the alien ship's captain observed the planet below. Her name was Captain Linda Foster, although that was only the name her species used to translate her identity for clarity. She was cautious and experienced, having monitored dozens of species over her lifetime. Yet what she saw on Earth surprised her. These humans, she whispered to her first officer, they are not like the others. Their minds are sharp, but there is something else. Creativity, speed of thought, they are evolving too fast. Her officer nodded, concern in his voice. Captain, we have never seen this. No species changes this quickly. If it continues, they could become a threat. Captain Foster remained silent, studying the data. She had been trained to control threats before they became dangerous, but these humans were different. They were unpredictable, and that was frightening. Back on the station, Caleb and Laura tried to analyze the alien ship. They are intelligent, Caleb said. They know humans are rising, and now they are trying to assess us. Ethan clapped his hands together. Perfect. Now humans will have a real test. Let's see what they can do when someone else is watching. This is evolution in action. Caleb gave him a hard look. Ethan, this isn't a test. They could attack if they think humans are dangerous. This could lead to war. Ethan waved him off. Relax. Humans are clever. They will survive. Watch. That night, the alien drones moved closer to human activity, focusing on a city where a new research lab had recently solved an energy crisis. The humans inside the lab worked late, unaware of the tiny dark objects outside. They discussed ideas and plans, collaborating in ways that amazed Caleb even from the station. One of the engineers, a young man named Ryan Cooper, proposed a new type of energy cell that combined solar and kinetic energy in a single unit. His colleague, Megan Taylor, immediately built a model using materials on hand. Within hours, they had a working prototype. Caleb and Laura watched the transmission feeds from the station's satellites. They are solving problems faster than anyone thought possible, Caleb said quietly. This is what the aliens are seeing. Humans are extraordinary. Laura nodded, fear in her eyes. Yes, they are going to be surprised and maybe scared. Meanwhile, Captain Foster observed the humans work from orbit. Her eyes narrowed as she realized the truth. They are more capable than we believed. Even in their natural state, they were clever. But now, this is different. They adapt faster, they solve problems faster. Their ingenuity is off the charts. Her first officer spoke again, worried. Captain, what do we do? Our mission was observation, not confrontation. But they are too fast, too clever. If we try to contain them, Foster shook her head. Containment may no longer be possible. We need to report back to the council. They will decide, but for now we observe. carefully. Back on the station, Caleb felt a mix of pride and fear. They don't know it yet, but humans are waking up. They will change everything. The galaxy won't be able to ignore them. Laura bit her lip. And that is what worries me. Humans don't understand the danger. They don't know how other species will react. Ethan, still excited, pointed at the screens. Look at them. Look at their creativity. Humans are amazing. They solve problems, invent things, adapt instantly. They are unstoppable. Caleb shook his head. Unstoppable is exactly why the elders warned against awakening them. Humans are clever, yes, but now they are faster, sharper, unpredictable. The galaxy has never seen anything like this before. In the following days, humans continued to impress and confuse the alien observers. In one city, students built a device that converted waste into clean energy. In another, a doctor developed a method to purify water faster than machines could. Ordinary people, without even trying, were thinking in ways that aliens had never encountered. Captain Foster watched in disbelief. They improvise, adapt, and innovate on the fly. It's remarkable, but it is also dangerous. If they realize their own potential fully, they will be unstoppable. Her first officer frowned. Do we warn the council, or do we wait? Foster hesitated. We wait, observation only, but we prepare. Humans are no longer the simple species we thought they were. They are something else. On the station, Caleb and Laura continued to monitor the situation. The signal they had activated was spreading subtly through the Earth systems, enhancing human thought, creativity, and problem-solving. And now the aliens were witnessing it firsthand. This is it, Caleb said quietly. The first real test. Humans are awake and the galaxy is watching. The question is, how will humans respond? Laura nodded, worry still clear in her face. We have given them an edge, but they don't know it yet. They don't know what the galaxy is thinking, and that could be dangerous. Ethan, ignoring their concern, laughed. Dangerous? No, humans are perfect for this. They adapt, they survive, they always have. Watch and learn. But Caleb knew it was more than adaptation. Humans were becoming something new, something the universe had never seen before. Unpredictable, fast, clever beyond measure. That night, as Earth rotated beneath the alien ship, small bursts of light appeared from cities around the world. Humans were working late, inventing, solving, building. Even ordinary citizens unknowingly contributed. Every small action, every thought, every idea was amplified by the signal. Captain Foster watched the bursts of light, her mind racing. They are aware of each other in ways we do not understand. They learn from each other faster than any species should. If this continues, the galaxy will have to take notice, and we may not be able to control them. Back on the station, Caleb and Laura looked at each other, fear and awe mixed in their eyes. We've done it, Caleb whispered. The signal is fully awake now. Humans are rising. And the universe is watching. Laura shook her head. And some of those watchers may not like what they see. Ethan, still enthusiastic, smiled. Let them watch. Humans are extraordinary. This is only the beginning. As the night passed, Earth's cities glowed with activity. Across the planet, humans worked without pause, creating, inventing, thinking in ways that seemed almost impossible. The aliens in orbit recorded everything, unable to predict what would happen next. Caleb and Laura watched silently, knowing that history was being made. Humans had been awakened. They were clever, resourceful, and unstoppable, and the galaxy had no choice but to notice. For the first time, humans were no longer hidden, no longer simple. They had begun their rise, and no force in the galaxy could predict where it would lead. And somewhere deep in space, the first whispers of fear began to spread among alien civilizations. Humans were awake. Humans were dangerous. And the universe was about to remember it. The signal continued to pulse across the stars, reaching Earth with an invisible energy that no human could see, but that everyone could feel. Caleb and Laura watched it on the station's monitors, tracing its growth as it spread faster and wider than they had ever imagined. Every city, every lab, every school on the planet was touched, and every human began to show signs of the signal's influence. Caleb rubbed his forehead. It's happening faster than we thought. The changes are spreading like wildfire. Laura's eyes were wide. People are not just learning faster, they're thinking differently. They're solving problems in ways no one expected. It's amazing but also terrifying. Ethan Doyle leaned over the monitor, grinning. Terrifying? No, this is incredible. Look at what humans are doing. They are building, creating, improving. This is what I wanted to see. Caleb shook his head. Ethan, you don't understand. This is beyond improvement. Humans are changing. Their minds are sharper, faster, and more creative than ever before. Other species will notice. They will see humans as unpredictable, dangerous. Ethan shrugged. Then let them watch. Humans have always survived. This is just their next step. But Caleb and Laura knew it was more than survival. Ordinary people were accomplishing extraordinary things. In one city, a group of students solved a puzzle about renewable energy that had stumped scientists for years. In another, a small team of engineers built a water purification system that could provide clean water to millions, and they did it in days instead of months. Even in ordinary households, the signal's influence was clear. People who had never shown much interest in science or math suddenly solved problems with ease. Children designed machines that adults could not explain. Ordinary workers found new ways to improve their work and help their communities. This is incredible, Laura said quietly. But it's not natural. Humans are rising too fast, Caleb nodded. Yes, the elders warned about this. They said humans should not be awakened too early, but someone ignored that warning and now we don't know what will happen next. Far above Earth, alien ships observed the changes. Captain Linda Foster and her crew from the Zyrex Confederation were still in orbit, carefully recording every sign of human advancement. They are moving faster than we predicted, Foster said to her first officer. They are not just solving problems. They are inventing, improving, and adapting all at the same time. Every action they take is unpredictable. We cannot calculate what they will do next. Her officer frowned. Captain, should we take action? Should we warn the council? Foster shook her head slowly. Not yet, observation only, but we prepare. Humans are no longer ordinary. If we try to control them now, it may backfire. They are extraordinary. Back on the station, Caleb continued to monitor Earth. Look at this, he said, pointing at a map of the planet. These dots show breakthroughs happening everywhere. Hospitals, schools, factories, even small towns. People are inventing solutions that could change the planet. Laura leaned closer, her voice soft. And they don't even realize it. The signal is helping them, but they think it's just normal thought, normal creativity. They don't know how far it has taken them. Ethan clapped his hands together. Exactly, that's the beauty of it. Humans are reaching their full potential. They don't need guidance. They don't need limits. This is what makes them human, perfect humans, Caleb groaned. Ethan, it's not perfect, it's dangerous. Other species are watching. They may see humans as a threat and act before humans even understand what is happening. Meanwhile, on Earth, humans continued to rise. Scientists solved energy problems that had been considered impossible. Engineers built machines that could repair themselves. Cities became more efficient, not because of government orders, but because people found clever ways to work together. Even in ordinary life, the effects were clear. Farmers discovered methods to grow crops faster and healthier. Students invented tools to help their communities. People adapted quickly to challenges, finding solutions before they fully understood the problem. Laura watched the monitors, worried. Caleb, it's spreading too fast. Humans are not just awake, they are evolving. Caleb nodded grimly. Yes, and the galaxy will notice. Other species will react. They will see humans as a force they cannot ignore. Far from Earth, alien species began to communicate with each other. Small messages passed between councils and fleets, warning of the rapid changes on the planet. Humans are rising faster than we predicted, one species reported. Their minds are sharper, more creative, and unpredictable. We must watch them closely. Unpredictable is dangerous, another species replied. We cannot allow them to rise unchecked. They may become a threat before we can act. Back on the station, Caleb and Laura watched as humans continued to impress and alarm. In one city, students built a device that converted pollution into clean air in a matter of hours. In another, engineers designed a system that could store renewable energy for months without loss. Even small, ordinary acts showed the signal's influence. Children solved complex puzzles without help. People discovered new ways to communicate more efficiently. Communities organized themselves to help each other, solving problems faster than governments could. Caleb sighed. This is beyond what anyone expected. Humans are extraordinary, but they are still unaware of the danger. Laura nodded. And that is what worries me the most. They have no idea the universe is watching, no idea that other species may see them as a threat. Ethan, still enthusiastic, ignored their concern. Let them watch. Humans are extraordinary. They will survive anything. This is just the beginning of what they can do. The signal's influence also affected the station itself. Machines learned faster, AI systems adapted more quickly, and the humans working there performed tasks that would have been impossible a week ago. Even minor technicians could solve problems that had previously required years of experience. Caleb realized that the signal had made humans not only clever but resourceful in ways that could not be predicted. They are learning, adapting, and improving faster than anyone can understand, he said quietly. Laura looked at him, fear in her eyes. And other species will see that. They may not react kindly. Far above Earth, Captain Foster and her fleet continued to observe. They are faster, smarter, and more unpredictable than we imagined, she said. Containment may no longer be possible. Humans are rising beyond what we expected. Her first officer frowned. What should we do, Captain? Foster shook her head. We wait, but we prepare. Humans are no longer ordinary. They are something else. Back on the station, Caleb watched as human innovation continued at a staggering pace. He realized that the signal had unlocked something deep inside every human, creativity, intelligence, and adaptability far beyond their natural limits. Laura sighed. We have given humans an advantage they do not understand, but the universe will notice. And when it does, they may not be welcomed. Ethan laughed. Let them watch. Humans are extraordinary. Nothing can stop them, not aliens, not time, not anything. But Caleb knew better. He felt the weight of the warning the elders had given. Humans were awake. They were clever, fast, and unpredictable, and the universe was beginning to notice. On Earth, the changes became even more obvious. People solved long-standing problems in days instead of years. Communities organized themselves to improve safety, health, and efficiency. Scientists discovered new forms of energy, engineers built new machines, and ordinary people found ways to make life easier for everyone. Caleb and Laura watched silently, knowing history was being written. Humans had been awakened. They were rising faster than anyone could predict, and somewhere in the galaxy, other species whispered among themselves. Humans were no longer hidden. Humans were clever, fast, and unpredictable. Humans were awake. And the universe would never ignore them again. Caleb sat in the observation room, staring at the screens that showed Earth from space. The planet pulsed with energy, a rhythm that matched the signal he and Laura had activated weeks ago. The signal had grown stronger, spreading everywhere, touching every mind, every system, every living human. Laura stood beside him, her arms crossed. It's full now, she said quietly. Humans are awake. They don't even realize how powerful they have become. Caleb nodded, fear and awe mixing in his chest. The elders warned against this, but now it's too late. Humanity is fully awakened, and the galaxy is watching. Ethan Doyle leaned over the console, smiling with excitement. Finally, this is what I wanted to see. Humans are solving everything, building everything, changing everything. Look at them, they are unstoppable. Caleb shook his head. Not unstoppable, Ethan. Unpredictable. Other species may not see it the same way we do. They may act before humans understand the danger. Laura's voice was tense. And when that happens, humans might have to fight just to survive. They are clever, yes, but they don't even know they're rising yet. Above Earth, the alien fleets were beginning to react. Ships from the Zyrex Confederation and other nearby systems formed in orbit, cautiously observing the planet. Captain Linda Foster paced her command deck, her eyes fixed on the screens. "They are faster than we imagined," she said, voice low. "Their minds, their problem-solving, their creativity, it is beyond anything we have seen. Even their ordinary people are exceptional. They are unpredictable, and that is dangerous." Her first officer looked worried. "Captain, if we try to contain them now, they might resist. They could outsmart us. Should we report this to the Council?" Foster nodded. "Yes, but we prepare for the worst. Humans may be clever, but we cannot ignore what is happening. They are awake. They are extraordinary." Back on the station, Caleb and Laura watched as humans continued to impress. Engineers built machines that could repair themselves. Scientists discovered new energy sources. Ordinary citizens created solutions that no government had planned. Communities worked together more efficiently than ever before. "It's everywhere," Laura said. "Everywhere we look, humans are rising. And it's not just skill, it's instinct, creativity, intelligence, fast thinking. They are unstoppable in ways no one predicted." Caleb took a deep breath. "The galaxy will notice soon, and some species will act. Humans may not even know what they are walking into." Ethan clapped his hands together. "And that's the beauty of it. Humans will survive everything. They adapt, they think, they create. Nothing can stop them." As Earth rotated, the effects of the signal became even clearer. In one city, children designed devices that could generate clean energy for entire neighborhoods. In another, doctors found a cure for a disease that had baffled scientists for decades. In remote villages, people created new farming systems that doubled the crop yield. Even ordinary acts were extraordinary. People solved small problems with unusual efficiency. Neighborhoods cleaned up pollution faster than any government program. Communities organized to provide food, water, and medical care to everyone. Humans were not only awake, they were rising. Caleb and Laura watched in awe and fear. "They don't even realize how far they have come," Caleb said, "and the universe is watching." Some watchers will not like what they see. Above the planet, alien ships began to react. Some moved closer to scan human technology, while others hovered at a distance, observing. Captain Foster studied the activity on her screens, her expression tense. "They are clever beyond measure," she said. "Even their ordinary citizens are capable of things we cannot predict. Containment may be impossible if they realize their own potential fully." Her first officer's voice trailed off. "Then what, Captain?" Foster shook her head. "Then the galaxy will have a species it cannot control. Humans are awake, and that changes everything." On the station, Caleb and Laura noticed something else. The humans' creativity was not limited to technology or science. They were finding solutions to social problems, environmental problems, and even political problems. Entire communities improved without central authority. People worked together naturally, solving conflicts with ideas rather than violence. "It's remarkable," Laura said. "Humans are not just smart, they are kind, resourceful, and fast. They solve problems instantly. They are perfect in ways the galaxy has never seen." Caleb nodded slowly. "Yes, but the danger is real. Other species will not see them as perfect. They will see them as unpredictable, threatening, and some may act to stop them before humans even understand the threat. Ethan laughed. Let them act. Humans will survive. They always do. This is their moment. The signal has unlocked their potential. They are unstoppable. Meanwhile, humans themselves were beginning to notice the changes. Ordinary people felt sharper, faster, and more aware. Children learned at extraordinary speeds. Adults solved problems with ease. Communities grew stronger, more organized, more resilient. On one continent, a small town designed a water purification system that could provide clean water for an entire region in hours. In another, a group of teenagers created a renewable energy source that could power multiple cities. People everywhere were inventing, improving, and solving problems at a speed no one had thought possible. Caleb watched the activity, feeling a mix of pride and fear. The signal has done its work, he said. Humans are fully awake. They are extraordinary. But now the real challenge begins. Laura looked at him, her voice tense. The galaxy is watching. Some watchers will welcome humans, others will not, and humans, they have no idea what is coming. Far above Earth, alien ships moved carefully. Some species debated how to act. Some feared the humans' unpredictability. Others wanted to contain them immediately. Captain Foster watched, thinking carefully. They are awake, she said quietly. And they are clever. They may not even realize how dangerous they are. Her first officer nodded. Then what do we do, Captain? Foster shook her head. We wait, but we prepare. Humans are changing everything. They are clever, fast, and unpredictable. They are awake, and the galaxy will remember it. Back on the station, Caleb and Laura continued to observe. The signal's influence had reached its peak. Humans were no longer ordinary. They were extraordinary. They solved problems instantly, adapted to every situation, and created solutions no one had imagined. In one city, engineers built a machine that could clean oceans in a week. In another, students invented devices to provide energy to entire communities without fossil fuels. Ordinary citizens improved healthcare, transportation, and communication faster than governments could manage. Ethan watched the activity with a wide grin. Humans are perfect. Look at them, they adapt, invent, and survive. Nothing can stop them now. Caleb and Laura exchanged worried looks. It's not perfection, Caleb said. It's awakening, and some in the galaxy may not like it. Humans are clever beyond measure, but they do not know the danger waiting. Above Earth, alien species prepared quietly. Fleets gathered, councils debated, and messages were sent across the stars. Humans had been underestimated for too long. They were clever, fast, and unpredictable. They were awake. On Earth, humans continued to rise. Children learned faster, adults solved complex problems, and communities organized efficiently. Innovation spread like wildfire. Humans were unstoppable in ways the universe had never seen. Caleb watched the screens quietly. This is it, he said. Humanity is awake. The galaxy will have no choice but to notice, and the universe will never be the same. Laura nodded. They are clever, resourceful, and strong, but they don't even know it yet, and some watchers may not like what they see. Ethan clapped his hands. Let them watch. Humans are extraordinary. This is only the beginning. As Earth rotated, glowing with energy from the signal, Caleb realized the truth. Humans had been awakened. They were clever, fast, creative, and resourceful. The galaxy could no longer ignore them. Other species would act, observe, or fear. But humans, now fully awake, were ready for anything. And somewhere far away, alien fleets whispered among themselves. Humans were no longer ordinary. Humans were clever, fast, and unpredictable. Humans were awake, and the universe had no choice but to remember it. Caleb looked at Laura, a small smile on his face despite the fear. They are humans, and humans always find a way, Laura nodded. Yes, and now the galaxy will see it too. Ethan laughed again. This is the greatest moment in history. Humans are awake, clever, and unstoppable. Nothing will ever be the same. And as the stars watched silently, Earth pulsed with life, energy, and intelligence. Humanity had risen. Humanity was awake, and the galaxy would never forget it.